How's it going, everyone? I'm here today to show you my custom Lightning Collection Green Ranger figure. I customized this figure to make it look like the original Green Ranger figure from the 1993 series of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers instead of that episode of the Fighting Spirit Green Ranger from Dino Thunder. I don't know why Hasbro went in that direction. They should have went in the direction of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from 1993. But, you know, we get what we get, and maybe sometime in the future we'll get the real Green Ranger design from that series. So seeing this figure right now, you're already seeing the changes that I did to it. I just want to point out in the description below while watching this video, I'm going to answer some pre-questions. I know you guys are going to ask me in the comments, so just read up on that and you'll get some questions answered right away. So I'm going to hurry up and get down to this because I actually have to leave right now. So what I did is, the first thing I did, I used masking tape to cover up the eyes, the visor, and the mouth, and I started using fingernail polish remover to remove the paint on the helmet, which was that silver paint. Okay, and I also had to remove the diamond because I needed to get in the creases to get everything off. When I did that, the paint actually got rid of the glossiness on the helmet, so I actually had to repolish that up. So I use turtle wax scratch remover, and I wiped it off with a dry towel, and did it for like 4 times, and it brought back the shine, and I was like really happy with that. After that was completed, I used masking tape to cover up the whole helmet and just left the diamond part exposed, and I used primer spray paint and painted the red diamond back on there. Now, it might look darker on the camera because I'm using the outside light and a camera light, so mixed together it's changing the color on it, but with your own eyes it's more of a brighter red, and you know, it's just the lighting is making this figure look like a different color. So forget about the lighting of the camera, guys. It's just the figure is more better with your own eyes, trust me on that. After that, also for the third time, I had to use masking tape to cover up the rest of the helmet and leave the mouth part exposed. And I used spray paint to spray paint all the way to the edge of the mouthpiece, just like in the show. And then I used gold spray paint that matches the shield, and I manually painted the Morpher. I used masking tape to tuck underneath the belt, used masking tape to cover up the black part of the Morpher, and then I manually started painting the gold design onto the Morpher. After that, I used masking tape to cover the figure up. You want to cover up the complete figure with masking tape and newspaper because you don't want to get no paint on the figure whatsoever. So that's what I kept doing. So after I used masking tape to cover up the belt underneath it, I stuck it underneath the belt. I used newspaper to cover up the rest of the figure, and I used matte finish spray paint mixed with primer, and I spray painted the Dragon Dagger Holder and then let it dry. Last thing I did was I used masking tape to cover up the boots, and then I used newspaper to cover up the figure, and I used glossy paint also mixed with primer and spray painted it. This is going to be a quick tip for you guys. In the Power Rangers figures, there's a dention right here of the ankle. So when you put the masking tape around the figure, you want to press this together before you spray paint. So, because if you just put the masking tape on there, eventually the way you mask the boot, the tape eventually is going to come off of there, and if you spray paint it, the paint's going to get in and you ruined your figure. So what you want to do, as soon as you put masking tape around the boot and you cover the rest of the figure up, keep your fingers together and squish the tape into there, and as soon as you release it, spray it real fast before that tape rises off of there, and you'll get a perfectly good trim painted boot. So last thing I did is I manually touched up the Dragon Dagger. I used the same gold I did with the Morpher. Wait till this focus, there you go. I added these gold dots right here. I can't make it completely realistic because, you know, it's too damn small to paint. I don't have no microscope or a tiny ass brush to do that, so I did the best I can, and I added the silver trim in the mouthpiece of the flute. I just want to point out real fast, I also added a little bit more detail to the White Ranger. You can see it, he also has black on the bottom of his boots. And Saba had been a little bit changed up too. I added these gold dots right here, give him the red eyes, added black and gold trim right here, and then I also did a top part of his helmet, of the head, and I did the other side exactly the same way. So I'm really happy how this figure came along. Let me know what you guys think about this figure. I'm going to answer a question for you guys right now, because I know you're going to ask me, is that why didn't I use a Legacy Morpher to put on here? The answer to that one is I wanted to keep it as in the style of the Lightning collection, not Legacy. I didn't want to mix them up. Another one you're going to ask me is that I could have cut the Morpher belt and took the holder off and glued it on the other side and just glued the belt back together. I didn't do that because when you cut that belt and you cut that piece off, you're going to leave yourself a gap. So that means that belt is going to be more tighter because you have to glue that together, and a lot of times that glue won't stay. This belt is really hard to get off this figure because it's really tight around the waist, and you have to stretch it and stretch it to pull it out. Now imagine cutting that off and gluing it on that side and leaving that big gap. So if you glue that belt back together and you try to stretch it to put it back on the figure, it's going to pop off. No matter how long you let it glue for, it will pop off. Out of experiences, it will happen. Or if you try to glue the belt back together to the figure, you're going to sit there and hold that thing together and keep holding it and holding it. Eventually, it's not going to really stay. Plus, you might accidentally get glue on the figure and you ruined it. So I'm not touching that. I just wanted to leave it the way it is and just update the paint. So there's one other thing I might want to do to this figure, is that the gold trim around the gloves, I bought plastic gold lace, and I'm going to see if I can like glue it around the gloves to give it more of a popping out effect. So I'm going to use my dummy Green Ranger that I use for practicing, which is also in great shape, and I might put it on here to see how it is. Now, no, I'm not going to sell this, guys, because honestly this was a mess up. You can see the boots kind of have a bluish fade to it. That's because what I told you about the boots, if you don't press that tape together, ink will seep in. Well, it happened to me, and I had to try to get that paint off, but it won't come off completely, so I left like a shading blue onto his boots. So that's why I'm telling you to press that tape into the ankles and then spray paint real fast. So this one I gave to my daughter, and she uses this to beat up the Five Nights at Freddy figures. I don't know why. So comment below, let me know what you think about this figure, if I did a good job or not. Do you think Hasbro should have went in this direction instead of the Fighting Spirit direction? Just comment below and let me know. You guys have a wonderful week. You guys enjoy your weekend when it comes up, and you know, just I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you posted if I do update this figure a little bit more with the glove straps. So if I do, another video will be uploaded in this month. If you don't see it, then I decided not to. Not only that, I'm really deciding, I have another Green Ranger figure coming in the mail. I'm going to customize that too. And if it comes out really well, I might post it online on eBay for sale to see how much I can get for that figure. So if you see it on eBay, that means, you know, I'm selling another one. If you don't in this month, then I'm sorry, I decided not to sell one. Once again, have a great week. Enjoy your weekend, and peace out.